Hello and welcome back to northeastschools.org. This is your website development class, and we are going to continue with where we left off the previous lessons. We've learned in our previous lessons about various programming languages and which one best will suit our preferences and which one you would prefer to learn according to what kind of website you would want to be developing all the time. And we also left off the last time on our basic HTML markup, which is the HTML tag, the opening tag and the closing tag, which contains everything including the head and the body. And I said earlier on that the head section contains sensitive information of the web document. Example, the title, which encloses this title I have written, not 3 tats, which is going to be displayed on the title bar at the utmost part of the web browser, and it's going to be our title. And I said also that inside the body element, or the body tag, which is the opening tag and the closing body tag, inside this element you're going to have the rest of your body, the rest of the page inside this body. Example, images, videos, downloadable items, files, everything at all, text should go inside the body but not outside the body. If you're doing that, then you are doing the wrong thing. It must always be inside the body. So now we are going to save our first HTML and see how best we are progressing in the course in terms of website designing. So you should first open your notepad. I'm not going to use this text editor for now. So if you don't have any professional text editor, you at least should have a notepad installed on your computer. So this is my first markup. I'm going to save and go to file and click on your save, or you can do Ctrl S. You have the same thing. So after we have clicked on our save, you have this window popping up, and you should know that you can save it to any name at all, any name you prefer to save it to. You can use your own name, you can use anything at all, and it's allowed. And you can see that there is a save as type here, and we are not going to save it to docs.txt. If you are doing that, it probably means you are going to have an ordinary text, and this is not what we prefer to do. So you can choose all files, and all files will automatically switch to any extension at all. So I have all files. Then you can select any name, you can use your own name, but for me I'm going to save it to index.html, and the most single important thing is the .html. Any name you choose at all is okay, but you must always remember to save it without leaving the .html. If you are not saving it to the extension .html, it means you are not doing a website and you're not going to have the preferred document type. So you must always remember to save your document. After typing the name you prefer, then you add .html. And now let's save. You can also select this encoding UTF-8. Save. Yes. Now I have saved my first web page to the extension .html on my desktop, which is also inside a folder called North3 Tutorials on my desktop. So I'll open to North3 Tutorials on my desktop, and I can now find index.html here. Now let me right click this go to properties, and inside my properties you can see that you have some information about the document received, and you can see that the document is an HTML document. So what we will do now is we can either double click on the HTML document, and since we saved it to .html, it is picking the default browser icon, which indicates to you that you are doing a website. So the moment you double click on this icon, you are going to have the browser open for you with whatever text, whatever images you are doing inside of it. You can also right click, then you click on the open, and it opens for you. Now I have opened my first HTML. Then let me type anything at all. This is my first HTML markup. Then always remember to save after you have made a new change. You have to save, then reload your browser. You have, this is my first HTML markup over here. This is my first HTML markup. So you must always remember to save after you have made a new change. Let me take off the markup and will not save this one. So I'll reload my browser and see what happens. I'll refresh my browser, nothing happens. Though I have made a change, I have not saved it, so it's not taking effect on my browser. So I should either click on the Ctrl S, or I can go to File and click on Save. I'll come back and hit the F5 or click on the Reload this page button. Now you have the effect taking place. So let me undo the change. Ctrl S or File, then Save. Come back, reload your browser. You see you are getting the effect coming back to you. So this is your first presentation in HTML, and it's a very nice thing to do. At least you have your first website, and this is a typical website you can be doing all the time. Now let's come back to this and see another example. I want to add some few text, and I will be doing this frequently. All of these still inside the body, not outside it, because the body contains everything that is going to be displayed on the browser. Now I can have a notice of this title displayed here because I have so many tabs open. You can see it clearly. Let me close off some of the tabs. So this is our title, and we have North3 tags displayed on our title bar. And let me make a change. North3 file, don't forget to save at all times. Reload the browser. Now we have North3 alone because I have made a change in my title. So the title is always at this top. And that's the most important thing about using tags. The tags gives instruction to the web document, and the browser identifies the title and places it at the top bar, at the title bar. So if it is not in a title tag, there is no point, there is nothing to tell the browser that this is a title, so it should be put on the title bar for you. So the tags are a set of instructions for the browser to assume what you, the programmer, prefers your website to become like. Now I have added some few text, and you can see this is my first HTML markup, and I will be doing this frequently and frequently and frequently. For Control S or file save, then you see how lengthy my text has become, and it's accommodating the entire 100% of my web page. And this is not typically what I would want to be doing. I want to at least break off so that I'll have some of my text on the second line, and let's see how it is done. So if supposing I want to break off this part and also have a break here, and I would want to save again, reload the browser, the effect is not taking place on my browser. You can see, you can typically see that I have broken off at the immediate front of the end, and also after this text I have also broken from the frequently, and I have saved it as well. I have reloaded my browser, it is not taking place. So it should tell you how important the task is always going to be to us as programmers. So then we have a tag called the BR tag, which is the break element. When we want to break off a line, we should use the BR, meaning we want to break off this side of our web page. And after I have saved it, come back, F5 or reload your browser. Now we have gotten the ability to break off after the end here. After the end, now I will be doing this has broken off one line only because I used the BR tag, and the BR tag is most often referred to as self-closing element. So it's either you are using a forward slash at the front of it, or you can leave it off. It's in either way, it is typically allowed. So just because of the BR, we have been able to break off from that side. And since it's a self-closing element, it doesn't have a closing tag like this. And as time progresses on in the course, you get to know why BR is always like this. And it is not the only self-closing tag we have in HTML. There are a few others, and as time goes on, you will get to know about all of these things. So we want to also break this side as well. I will be doing this, then we have a break, then the frequently comes down, and frequently. So it's just a matter of repeating another break down here. Can also paste BR tag over here in front of the this, meaning we want to break every text that comes after the this. And we also have another break, and this is how a typical website is going to be like. So after the break element, we also have the ability to achieve the same results. So if suppose you want to have 2 line breaks, then you should be adding another BR. If you want to have, then Control S, I will save, then I have another break as well. Suppose I want to break another line from that side, then I will also be adding another BR over there, then I am breaking off that side as well. So this is what you'll be typically doing in your HTML web document, and you are achieving more. What if you want to have paragraphs, and the paragraph will allow you to have 2-line breaks instead of using a double break? And if you want to achieve 3-line breaks, 4-line breaks, you will not be doing BR, then you must also know about using paragraphs. So let me take off the BR. I believe you've taken notice of it and how it is working for you. I'm taking off the BR tag, then I will also bring it here. And one thing about breaking off a line is that it doesn't matter where the text is, you will be able to break it. Supposing I have my text still here and I have BR inside the middle, Control S, I will still be able to break it one line, and I can add another BR and save. And I want to save. So now we have broken off 2 lines. So we are breaking in between the end and the I will. Now we are not doing break anymore. We want to have a paragraph. Now let me take off the BR tags and save it, coming back to whatever we were doing before. Now we can use the P tag, which is the paragraph tag. And where do we want to end our paragraph? Where do we want to end our paragraph? Is it right after the markup? So that from this is my first HTML markup becomes a first paragraph. Then I would want to end just here. And I can Control S or File, Save, reload your browser. Now I have 2-line breaks instead of using BR. So this can also be another paragraph. This can be another paragraph as well. So if there's any text that comes after this line, it also has that paragraph. So this is a paragraph as well, so that any text that comes after this line will also become a paragraph. Now, since you know about the fact that Notepad we have installed on our computers are a proper text editor, at least, which can be used for our basics in HTML, I'm now going to switch to my proper text editor, which is Sublime Text 3. This is the current version as this time that I was doing this tutorial. Maybe you go to sublimetext.com, download the same version, or maybe an advanced one. So you can get it from sublimetext.com. You can also have Notepad++ at notepad++.com. You can also download the free version installed on your computer. Then you can make effective use of it in your HTML markup presentations. Now I want to be switching off from Notepad to Sublime Text 3. Now I will recommend to you that as a beginner you should constantly be practicing inside the notepad so that you are easily getting things in a handy way, and you'll be able to do a lot of practice using the notepad, because the text editor is going to assume so many things for you. It's going to keep on reminding you and will be populating some suggestions for you, which is not going to help you too much. And in the notepad you'll be doing everything by yourself, you'll be typing everything by yourself. So as soon as you are getting yourself abreast with the program, then you can switch on to using the proper code editor. So the notepad is suitable for learners. You can start learning programming with notepad then. So I'll copy the same thing, I'll come and paste it inside my notepad. I would prefer opening it rather. I'll close my notepad, I'll save it, then I have to go to file, open file, or I should be going to my desktop to find Note 3 tutorials. Then I'll open my project. Sorry, I'll open my project, which is index2.html. Open with Sublime Text. I'll open it with Sublime Text. Then I'll close the one on my browser, and I'll reopen it with my browser. Open with my Google Chrome browser, so that I have everything starting afresh. So now I'll be doing everything in my Sublime Text from henceforth. So while we are waiting for the browser to open, we can still progress in our course. And HTML can do a bunch of features, and you should be able to do a lot of research on whatever thing HTML is ever about. Now we want to have an underline for this text called this. Now what we can do is we can also use the UL tag. We can target this with the U tag, which is the underline, then close it off with the U tag. This is my first markup, and we want to have a line under this, so we are using the underline tag, which is the U tag. Then save, reload. I don't think I have saved it. It's either file, save, come back, reload your browser. You have that line down there, and this text has been properly underlined using the underline tag, which is the UL. So what if we want it to become bold, the same text to become bold? Then we'll probably be using the B tag. You can use as many as tags you want to target any text at all. So we can also see this one. What is happening? So we have our text also becoming bold as well. Now let's take off the B and see the reverse effect. Control S, save. Now the bold is gone, so we can do a bold on this. Control S, then the bold comes back. What if we have forgotten to close off our tag? Supposing we want to underline this alone and we are leaving off this /, then Control S or file save, reload the browser. Everything is being affected by the underline. So this is how, and this is why it is important to always close off your tags. And this is not typically what we want to achieve. We wanted this text only to be underlined, but since we are not telling HTML that we want to close off our underline on this alone, then it runs on and on and on to affect every other text unless we have brought the / to close off the underline, meaning we have ended with the underline under this where it ends save. Now we have it affecting this alone. What if you forgot to close off with the / for the bold tag, save, reload, then everything else becomes bold, and this is not what we have intended to do. So where it starts, you have the opening tag, and where it ends, you have the closing tag. So file, save, or Control S, you can save now. It is only restricted to this one since we have closing of the tag on this one. But you can see that the BR tag becomes self closing element. It self closes itself. It doesn't have an end tag or a closing tag because it is not used for targeting a length of text. It is only used for breaking at a point. So supposing we do not have paragraphs over here, if you have no paragraphs here, and then all our text, Control S, save, all our text are running together, we can have a BR over here only to break at that point, but not used for targeting the beginning and the end of a sentence. This is the reason why it is always like this, but has not gotten any closing tag like this. It does not have any closing tag like this. So save, reload. Now you have the BR taking effect. So this is what basic HTML markup is all about. And the next thing you will be doing is also to know that we also have a lot of HTML elements, and it can get you a lot of nice and beautiful effects. Now we want to apply a background color to our web document in HTML. At least we are not doing CSS for now, but at least HTML can do quite some wonderful stars kicking in our website. So it's just a matter of applying to our body element, and at all times the opening tag is referred to as the selector. And when you are when you want to achieve an effect to a group of HTML, then you must target the opening tag. So when I am talking about this text, then I can say that these texts are all P elements. So referring to all these markup, then I can say that all the P element, which is the paragraph element, and this is what you must notice, that it is always with the opening tag but not the closing tag. When you are talking about this element, it is either the bold. When you are talking about all B tags, then you are talking about this. So if you want to target this text You can also target it by the U, since it is inside the bold, and it is also inside the U as well. When you are talking about note 3 text here, then you want to talk about title, or you are talking about the head, because the title encloses the note 3. So this is a title. So anytime we are talking about note 3 text on this web document, then it means we are talking about the title. So you can target note 3 by the title. So we want to talk about everything inside the body. Then we can say that let's select the body element. And when we are selecting this body element, then we are talking about everything inside the body. When I'm talking about the paragraph, I'm talking about everything inside this paragraph. When I am selecting the opening U, then I'm talking about this alone, because it is only this which is in the U tag. When I'm talking about bold or B, I'm selecting this alone because it is as well in the B tag. But when I'm talking about bold, I'm talking about the entire browser. The body, I'm talking about everything that appears on the browser. So everything appears on the browser should have a background color which is BG COLOR, not COLOUR. If you are adding U to your color, then it is not going to work for you, and there is no separation between the PG and the color. You have BG color, you can see that it should be pink. Then you assign it a color, and you declare the kind of color you want inside inverted commas. So you can see the body, the entire body, including everything on the page, should have a BG color which should be equal to inside inverted commas pink. Now file save, Control S, come back here, save, then reload your browser. You have a pink color at the background. This is not CSS. CSS will be doing a lot of these things for you when you have learned to style your HTML with CSS, but at least we want to know that it exists in HTML, that you can have a nice background color. And let's change the color to red and see what happens. Change it to red, and we have a red background. You can change it to teal, save, and you can have a nice teal background. So CSS will be potentially doing a lot of these things for you, and you would not be needing HTML anymore for styling. And this is at least what you should know about HTML. Now there are a bunch of HTML tags you should know about, and this is going to get you a lot of job done. And for today, I'm going to end this tutorial here, so that you be practicing this quite often by yourself, and you'll be doing a lot of research to know what else is in the world about HTML. So until next time, I will progress on the course little by little, so that you can get abreast with the program, and the next time you meet, you go to a next level in our programming course. Thank you very much for joining me in this Note 3 tutorials class. My name is Isaac Owusu. Thank you very much.